Hello year 7, this is Mr. Han. Today we're going to talk about the third topic in Unit 11, which is the moving planets. So our lesson objectives today are: number 1, to differentiate between the stars and planets. Number 2, to describe the movement of the planets relative to the Sun in the solar system. Number 3, to explore two types of planets. And the keywords are planets, solar system, and gas giants. Let's start our lesson today with a quick recap. In the previous topic, we talked about the stars and we said they appear to move across the night sky from east to west. And this happens because the Earth is turning from west to east. And also, we said these stars seem to form patterns in the night sky. These patterns are called constellations. And we said we see different constellations at different times of the year. This is because the Earth revolves around the Sun once every year. Today our topic is about the planets in the solar system. But before we start, let me tell you something happened too many years ago. For thousands of years, people have watched the stars in the night sky. They tried to make sense of the pattern of the constellations. They noticed that the pattern of stars stayed the same from one year to the next. But they also noticed something surprising. 5 of the stars gradually changed their positions. They called these the wandering stars or planets. Now we know that the planets are not stars at all. Okay, now we know that people have watched everything about space through the telescope, and they said there are some differences between the stars and the planets. They said that the stars all look like tiny points of light in the night sky. This means all the stars look like each other, or all of them are the same. While the planets, each planet looks different. Some are small, some are big, some have rings. So this means the planets are different from each other while the stars look like each other. But what do we mean by a planet? A planet is a large solid object that orbits the Sun or another star. And here you need to know that the Sun is not a planet at all. It is a star. Okay? Here we have photographs of all the planets. These were taken using cameras on board spacecraft which flew through space to take a closer look. Okay, let's have a look on our solar system. Okay, first we have the Sun, which is in the middle of our solar system. It is incredibly hot. Temperatures on the surface of the Sun can reach 5,500 degrees Celsius. And there are 8 planets in our solar system. I'm going to talk about these planets, starting with the closest one to the Sun to the furthest one from the Sun. Okay, the first one, Mercury. Second one, Venus. Third one, Earth. The fourth one, Mars. Fifth one, Jupiter. And the sixth one, Saturn. And the seventh one, Uranus. And the last one is Neptune. Okay, so the Sun and these 8 planets make up our solar system. There are many other objects in the solar system too, such as moons, comets, asteroids, and dwarf planets. Okay? The Sun is a star that spins in the middle of our solar system. It is surrounded by 8 planets. Okay, this means that the Sun can spin on its axis, or it can have rotation like the Earth. But it is not moving in an orbit like the Earth. It is rotating on its axis, or we can say it spins on its axis in the middle of the solar system. And all the stars do like the Sun. Okay, every planet in the solar system moves around the Sun, following a curved path. We call this curved path an orbit. Although it looks like some of them are orbiting in a circle, each planet's orbit around the Sun is shaped like an ellipse. So this means that the orbit of each planet, it is not like a circle, it is like an ellipse. Okay? When a planet makes one complete orbit around the Sun, this is counted as 1 year on that planet. Like the Earth planet, it can move around the Sun and finish one complete orbit in 1 year, which is 365 days, right? Same thing for the planets. But the time that it takes each planet to orbit once around the Sun depends on two things. Number one, how fast the planet is traveling. Number two, how far away it is from the Sun. Okay? Okay, now we are going to talk about the Sun's massive gravitational force. And from grade 6, you know that the gravity is a force, right? Okay, the planets orbit the Sun because they are caught by the Sun's massive gravitational force. Without the pull of the Sun's gravity, the planets would no longer follow their path around the Sun and would go flying off in a straight line into space. Okay, so here the gravitational force is very important because it is making all the 8 planets move around the Sun. In the same way that each planet orbits the Sun, most planets are also orbited by smaller objects that are caught by the planet's gravity. For example, Earth is orbited by the Moon, right? Like here in this animated picture, there is one moon which is orbiting the Earth while the Earth is orbiting the Sun, right? Some planets are orbited by lots of moons, but our Earth is orbited by only one moon. Okay? So, each planet also spins on its axis as it moves. At any one time, it is daytime for the part of the planet that is facing the Sun and night time for the planet that is facing away from the Sun. Okay, as some planets spin faster than others, the length of a day can vary greatly between different planets. We know that on Earth, one day equals 24 hours, right? But in different planets, this may change. This is according to the speed of that planet, which is making it spin on its axis. Okay? Here we have 2 types of planets. We have rocky planets and gas giant planets. Rocky planets are the 4 planets closest to the Sun, like Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The weather on the rocky planets is warm because they are close to the Sun, right? And their surface is made of rock, while the gas giant planets are the 4 planets farther from the Sun, like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The weather on these planets is cold, and the surface made of frozen carbon dioxide and other substances which are normally gases on Earth. Now open your course book, page 166 and 167. Okay, as you can see here, we have 4 questions. I'm going to give you time to answer these questions and then I will come back to check the answers with you. You have only 1 minute. Okay guys, the time is over. Let's check the answers. For question number 1, which planet do we live on? Yes, of course, the Earth. Question number 2, which planet has rings? Yes, Saturn. Okay, question 3, read the strange sentence below. How could it help you to remember the order of the planets? My very educated mother just showed us nature. Yes, each word starts with the same letter as a planet in order from the sun. Okay, question number 4. Uranus and Neptune were not discovered until after the telescope was invented. Suggest a reason for this. Okay, because Uranus and Neptune are far away from the sun and also far away from the Earth, so we will not be able to see them with our naked eye, right? So we need telescopes to see them. Okay, let's answer some questions to check our understanding today. For question number 1, what type of object is the sun? A comet? A planet? A star? Yes, of course, it is a star. Question 2, what is an orbit? A type of sphere? A curved path in space that one object takes around another? Or a star? Yes, of course, it is a curved path in space that one object takes around another. Okay, question number 3. What keeps the planet in orbit around the sun? Speed, gravity, magic? Yes, of course, gravity. Which planet is the fifth from the sun? Earth, Saturn, Jupiter? Yes, of course, Jupiter. Okay, which word describes the rough shape of planet? Yes, spherical. Okay, which planets are classified as gas giants? Jupiter and Saturn, Mercury and Venus, Earth and Mars? Yes, of course, Jupiter and Saturn. Okay, 1 year is the time that it takes for a planet to make one complete orbit around the sun, complete one rotation on its axis, have 365 days pass by. Yes, of course, to make one complete orbit around the sun. Okay, what causes day and night on a planet? As a planet rotates on its axis, different parts of the planet face the sun, or the planet moving too far away from the sun, or other planets blocking the light from the sun? Yes, of course, as a planet rotates on its axis, different parts of the planet face the sun. Okay, which is the largest planet in our solar system? Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn? Yes, Jupiter. Okay, which is the smallest planet in our solar system? Mercury, Venus, Mars? Yes, Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun and also it is the smallest planet. Okay, and the largest planet here is Jupiter. Okay. In our topic today, we talked about the planet and we said it is a large solid object that orbits the sun or another star. And we said each planet looks different. Some are small, some are big, and some have rings. And also we talked about the stars and we said they all look like tiny points of lights in the night sky. And we said in our solar system we have the sun and 8 planets. Every planet in the solar system moves around the sun in an orbit, and the orbit's shape is like an ellipse. The 8 planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And the most common one, which is known with its rings, it is Saturn. And the largest planet in our solar system is Jupiter, and the smallest planet in our solar system is Mercury. And also we talked about two types of planets, which are rocky planets and gas giant planets. For the rocky planets, we said that there are four planets closest to the Sun, which are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. While the gas giant planets are the four planets further from the Sun, which are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Okay, now we reached to the end of our lesson. I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson. See you next time.